The monkey who challenged Buddha. What happens when a monkey challenges the Buddha himself? Long ago, in the bright and magical courts of heaven, there lived a mischievous monkey named Wukong, also known as the Monkey King. He was clever, brave, and full of magical powers, but he was also very proud and loved to show off. After causing trouble in heaven once before, Wukong was given a new job by the Jade Emperor, the ruler of heaven. This time, he was made the guardian of the heavenly peach garden. Wukong was delighted. The garden was the most beautiful place he had ever seen. Tall trees stretched toward the sky, their branches heavy with glowing pink peaches. Soft, golden clouds floated along the garden paths, and gentle breezes carried the sweet scent of fruit. Most of all, Wukong loved telling everyone who passed by, "Look at me, I am the Monkey King, guardian of the heavenly peaches." One day, the royal gardener bowed and showed him a special grove of peach trees. "Your Majesty," the gardener said carefully, "these are the most precious peaches in the entire universe. Each one takes 9,000 years to ripen. Whoever eats them will live as long as heaven and earth themselves. Please guard them well and make sure no one eats them." Wukong's eyes grew wide. "Wow, is that so?" he said. Then he puffed out his chest proudly. "Do not worry, I will guard them day and night." But the moment the gardener left, Wukong looked at the peaches again. They glowed like jewels in the sunlight and smelled sweeter than honey. "Well," he muttered, scratching his chin, "maybe just one." He plucked a peach and took a bite. It was the most delicious thing he had ever tasted. "Ah," he sighed happily. Soon 1 peach became 2, then 5, then 10. Before long, Wukong was climbing from tree to tree, stuffing peaches into his mouth as fast as he could. When his belly became round and full like a giant bowl, he transformed himself into a tiny monkey, curled up on a branch, covered his belly with a leaf, and fell asleep. When he woke up, he stretched lazily and continued strolling around the garden like a proud king. One day, something unusual happened. The Queen Mother of Heaven sent 7 beautiful fairies and their guards to pick peaches for a grand celebration at the Jade Pond. Wukong watched them arrive, their robes shimmering like sunlight on water. He smiled and bowed dramatically. "Dear sisters," he asked politely, "am I invited to this wonderful party?" The fairies looked at one another and giggled. "Oh no," one of them said with a teasing smile. "Only great guests are invited. The Buddha, Guan Yin, the 500 holy sages, and all the heavenly fairies." Another fairy added with a laugh, "But we didn't hear anything about inviting monkeys." Wukong's ears twitched. "We'll see who gets invited," he muttered. With a flick of his finger, he froze the fairies and guards in midair. Then, whoosh! With one powerful somersault, he flew all the way to the Jade Pond. Under tall trees, long tables were covered with bright silk cloths. Plates of gold and silver overflowed with delicious food, roasted meats, sweet fruits, steaming dumplings, and sparkling drinks prepared for heaven's greatest guests. Wukong rubbed his hands with excitement. "This looks like the perfect party." He plucked a few hairs from his head, blew on them, and poof! The hairs turned into a buzzing cloud of mosquitoes. The insects swarmed the fairies and guards. Buzz! 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 The poor fairies waved their arms, but it was useless. Soon they fainted from the stings. Wukong jumped onto the table. "Thank you, Queen Mother," he shouted happily. Then he began devouring everything in sight. Drumsticks, fish, fruits, sweet cakes, until his stomach bulged like a camel's hump. By the time the fairies woke up, every plate was empty. Wukong laughed loudly. "Ha! What great fun!" And with another somersault, he returned to the garden. But heaven soon discovered the truth. The fairies rushed to the Jade Emperor and told him everything. The Emperor was furious. "Send 10,000 heavenly soldiers to capture that troublesome monkey." Soon the sound of marching boots thundered across heaven. But Wukong was full of tricks. He pulled out a handful of hair, blew on it, and suddenly the garden was filled with 10,000 monkeys. The soldiers chased and fought the fake monkeys, while the real Wukong laughed from a tree. Even the emperor's magical celestial dog couldn't catch him. At last, the heavenly army realized they could not defeat him. So they went to seek help from the Buddha. Suddenly, Wukong felt himself lifted high into the sky. A moment later, he landed before a calm and glowing figure seated on a lotus flower. It was the Buddha. The great Buddha looked at him kindly. "Monkey," he asked gently, "why have you caused so much trouble?" Wukong crossed his arms proudly. "Because the Jade Emperor refuses to accept that I am the Monkey King." Buddha smiled. "Very well. Let's make a test. If you can jump out of my palm, I will tell the Jade Emperor to recognize you as a king." Wukong laughed. "Easy." He jumped onto Buddha's palm. "Doesn't he know," Wukong thought proudly, "that one somersault can carry me 18,000 miles? "Woohoo!" he shouted as he leapt away. He flew farther and farther until he reached what seemed like the edge of the world. 5 enormous pillars stood there, holding up the sky. "Perfect," Wukong said. With his sharp nails, he scratched a message into one of the pillars. Monkey King was here. Then he turned around and froze. Buddha was standing right behind him. "How?" Wukong gasped. Buddha lifted his hand. Wukong looked closer. The 5 pillars were actually Buddha's fingers. And on the middle finger was Wukong's own writing. Monkey King was here. Wukong's jaw dropped. He realized that no matter how powerful he believed he was, there were still wiser and greater beings than him. Slowly, he knelt. "Buddha," he said quietly, "I am sorry. I was wrong to cause so much trouble." Buddha nodded kindly. "I forgive you, monkey. Now that you understand your mistake, use your cleverness for good. Help others instead of creating chaos." Wukong smiled shyly. "Thank you, Buddha. I will try my best." Then he added with a playful grin, "It might be difficult, but I'm sure I can find much better ways to have fun." And from that day on, the Monkey King began learning how to use his great powers not for mischief, but for helping others. Moral of the story: being clever and powerful is not enough. True greatness comes from humility, responsibility, and using your abilities to help others instead of causing trouble. Thanks for listening. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.